So I wanted to start off, why don't you tell us a little bit about the Rock and Roll After School Girls Club and why, you started this?
Okay, I'm going to put my tea down actually, because it's annoying. So last summer, I was invited to speak at this a panel, on a panel with Miranda Sawyer, who's a really great journalist from the UK, and the main the purpose of the panel talk, and people could buy tickets and come to it, was the fact that statistically there are less female composers than male. And I'd been moaning about it the whole summer, looking at festival lineups, and it's predominantly male bands and male artists, and everyone's been banging on about, in the UK anyway, about how many female artists there are out there at the moment, and that there's a surge, which kind of bugged me anyway, because I don't really think it should be a big deal, there are, just because women are making music, that should be normal. It shouldn't be like, wow, well done, girls, you can make music too. Because it should just be obvious. And also, there aren't really that many female artists. There are female pop stars, but in the UK especially, there are mainly pop stars who are backed by men who are telling them what to say, what to think, how to dress, and what to sing. And I don't consider that to be an artist. So I did this panel talk, and I found out, I don't know if you know what PRS is. PRS is what writers, musicians get. They get paid if their music that they've written is played in public places, so in a bar or on the radio or on on TV, and the percentage, how am I going to word this? Basically, 14% of PRS goes to women, only 14%, which shows you a huge, the truth basically about how that there really are so many men writers and so many less female. So I became really passionate about it, and I wanted to, rather than moan about it all the time and feel frustrated with it, I wanted to do something about it and take action and actually make a difference. So I decided that the best way to change that would be to go into schools and kind of do workshops, start an after-school music club with young girls and do workshops with them, and to people that may not have access to, they might not have access to be able to be inspired by, so they might not know about certain female artists or bands, and that in that way, maybe if you didn't know they existed, then you wouldn't ever think of that as a career path, or you wouldn't think I have the confidence to do this, or because for me, when I discovered all these female artists, it gave me more confidence, because I felt like there were people I could relate to, and I went to a school where I got free arts and education, so I was really lucky to discover those things, but not everybody gets that. And I want to go to local girls' schools and kind of bring in other female performers and to get them to perform in front of them, to inspire them, and get instruments in the schools, and also not just open it up to people that want to perform and write, but people that want to maybe, because I've toured and I've met people that have other jobs, my sound engineer was female, my monitor engineer was female, my LD is female, so I can bring in people that work at a label that are female. There are other careers in music as well for women. Bring in DJs and promoters, and then what I eventually want to get to is an event that's run by all of the girls and me, and it's people play and we do the teching. We do everything for the event basically.
Great. Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got started, and had you always known you wanted to be a musician?
I had a piano in the house from about the age of 7. My family had a piano, and so I always played on it as a kid, and I asked for lessons. And then at school we were asked to write songs for music class, and I did that, and I had a tape recorder, and I just got really into writing songs. So but then actually when I was 16 I studied theatre for 2 years, so it took me away from the music. But I think that the work that I did in theatre, like the script writing and the storytelling, made me the writer that I am today. And after I finished college and studying theatre, I went back to writing music because I got rejected from every college that I applied to. And I fell down the stairs and broke my foot on the same day, so I was really depressed. And my mum and dad bought me an electric guitar, and then that's when I decided I was going to take it more seriously, and when my foot was better, I was going to do my first gig.
And were your parents open to the idea of being a musician and pursuing this professionally?
Yeah, I mean, they were really supportive. Like, there was always a lot of music in the house anyway. And I think that because I've always been kind of independent and driven, like, they just left me to it, basically. But they came to shows, and they still come to shows, and yeah, I'm lucky to have supportive parents.
Tell me a little bit about the songwriting process and what you love most about it.
What I love most about it? I don't know, I just love, like, I think it really depends on what my mood is. Like, that'll completely dictate what I write. If I'm in a really good mood and I feel a bit silly, then I might write a pop song. If I'm really angry and really stressed, then I'll write something that's maybe a bit punkier and like maybe on guitar and a bit more aggressive. And I just think it's a really, like, I kind of see it as therapy now, because I said to my friends like a couple of years ago, I was like, I'm thinking about getting therapy, like, help me. And then she was like, what if you can't write songs anymore? And I thought, oh yeah, like that is probably therapy, because it's just a way of having fun and being free and expressing yourself, and anything that's going on in your life or anyone else's that you've got on your mind, it's just, you're just getting it out of your system. So kind of see it as therapy.
And how do you get started? How would you advise people who are interested in being a songwriter?
Well, just don't be afraid of doing that. You have access to instruments. You can buy cheap instruments as well if you can't afford the best stuff. Like, I started off with a really cheap guitar, and you don't. I think just don't let people make you think that you have to play a certain way or write songs a certain way. Just accept yourself as like the writer you want to be, and if you can't play an instrument, it doesn't really matter. Like, you'll probably play it more interestingly than someone who plays it amazing, because it'll be a unique sound and a unique style. Like, me and my friends started a band a couple of years ago, and I play bass, and I have no idea how to play bass, but I love playing bass. So I don't think it matters if you can or actually technically do it. Just enjoy it.
Tell us a little bit about your practice routine. I mean, before a show, are you practicing a lot, or tell us the behind the scenes?
Well, when I'm on tour, it's like if there's a show that day, the whole day revolves around the show, and the challenge of the day is like getting up and getting showered and finding food, and then trying to see some of the town that you're in. So if you travel, you should kind of see the world rather than just seeing the hotel and whatever. And then sound checking, and then I just kind of, I think part of like the way I get into playing a gig is I don't do anything like exercise or meditate or focus on anything. I just have a routine of like, I do my hair exactly the same, and I do my makeup exactly the same, and I have a drink at the same time, and I listen to the same songs. So it's like the routine of getting ready, it like helps me focus and get ready for the show.
What have been some of the biggest highlights in your career?
Well, today it's like being called the ambassador for women's empowerment was probably the biggest highlight of my career. My mum will be really proud. Winning a Brit Award was really amazing. I watched the Brits on TV as a kid. I guess it's kind of like the Grammys, the Brit Awards, And I used to watch that as a kid, and then it's in a really huge venue called Earl's Court in London, and I was really, really scared. And there were so many people, and I couldn't. It was just really. There was a load of things that I did on the first record that I didn't connect with as soon as I did them because they were too crazy, and then a year later I'd be like, oh my god, that happened, I can't believe it. So winning a Brit, being able to travel, I feel very privileged to have seen parts of the world that not everybody gets to see, and that I might not, and being able to play shows there. Not only do I get to see these places, like I'm going to Brazil and Argentina next month, and that's